Hey guys, thank you for joining the quest. If you're new here today, you know why. Two reviews today, The Hateful Eight and The Revenant. I'm just trying to rush out these reviews real quick, trying to get as many done as possible before I make my top 10 list, which will hopefully be coming the first week of January for you guys. And I've just been trying to catch up on some movies, so let's go. The Hateful Eight is directed by Quentin Tarantino and it stars Samuel L. Jackson, Kurt Russell, Tim Roth, and a shitload of other actors in this movie. And this movie, oh my god, he bring it back, people. He's bringing it back to the classic Tarantino. Yes, this movie reminded me of a 1990s Tarantino. This reminded me of like a modern update of Reservoir Dogs, in my opinion. This right here, honestly, it's probably the third best Tarantino movie I've seen. I haven't seen every Tarantino movie. I haven't seen Death Proof, or I think he did another one, Grindhouse or something with Robert Rodriguez. I haven't seen those, but I've seen every other one. I'm telling you, this is his third best one in my opinion. The movie, honestly, it's like a thriller slash mystery slash western. Kurt Russell, he has this bounty, Miss Domergue, I believe Domergue, I forget how to say her name, something like that. Basically, he has her, he's a bounty hunter, he has her, and he's trying to hang her. And while everybody finds out, and we find out that somebody, they're either related to Miss Domergue or they have some association with her, and they're trying to figure out who the hell it is. And it's a great mystery in my opinion, to be completely honest with you. Every time I was watching the movie, during the whole movie I was like, this guy's the bad guy. Oh, this one's the one that's with her. This one. It really kept me guessing. And with each scene, you get more information from every character, from the way they look. And with each scene, you get more from every character, from the way they look at each other, to their body language, to what they say. You just kind of base your opinion based on that. And it works really, really well in my opinion. Also, it's kind of like a metaphor for how cruel mankind is. We see different elements play out, abuse against women, race relations. They don't say the N-word in this movie as much as they did in Django Unchained, but it's still in there and it's kind of in your face to help you face the reality of how bad times were back then. Because this movie takes place in the 1800s, I believe, right around the Civil War, if not a little bit afterwards. So they put it right in your face and force you to face it, especially with Sam Jackson's character being the only black guy in the whole movie. So you know something's gonna go down with him. And I felt like everybody, they played their role really, really well. I will say I thought Tim Roth's character, the way he was conveying the dialogue, I felt like it was meant originally for Christoph Waltz or something, but Christoph Waltz was probably busy doing Spectre and couldn't get to this. So I would have wondered how Christoph Waltz could fit into this movie, but I felt like Tim Roth did a phenomenal job. And Jennifer Jason Leigh, I feel like she did a phenomenal job in Miss Domergue in this movie. If she gets nominated for Best Supporting Actress, I wouldn't be surprised. I thought she did a great job. She really showed her conflict with Kurt Russell's character really well, and her mystique among the other 6 guys in the cabin really well too. I really like how she conveyed her stuff. But I think the starting movie, honestly, is Samuel L. Jackson. From the beginning you see him to the end of the movie, he's pretty much in every scene except for maybe like one little part or chapter in the movie, and that's just because it's well, I'm not gonna tell you guys. But Sam Jackson, he steals every scene in this movie. I really believed him. He was funny as hell. There's this one part where like he gives this little story about what happens between him and one of the people's son in the cabin. And when you hear him tell the story, you have an idea where it's going to end up, but you don't want to believe it. Then the more he tells the story, you're like, oh man, don't go there, don't go there. And then he does, and you're like, ah. It's kind of disgusting, but it's funny at the same time. And Tarantino does a good job of dialogue, making that connection really well. But that speech kind of reminded me of like a Pulp Fiction scene, like the butt scene or the Ezekiel scene. I really felt like this one's on that level, in my opinion. So that's always fun to see. I really like the cabin and the atmosphere. I felt like it matched the Western times really well. The costumes fit really good. And the score, my god, I almost forgot about the score. The score kind of reminded me of like a John Carpenter thing, kind of like the movie It Follows, like a slight John Carpenter thing. I did some research and I find out that he was inspired by the movie The Thing, so it makes sense. And you know, I can really hear it in here, and I thought the theme actually fit, the score fit in the movie, or the Western themes. So that's cool to see. Overall, I really enjoyed the movie. I don't really have nothing bad to say about the movie, except it's a little long, but honestly, I was intrigued. It's about 3 hours. but I was intrigued during the whole movie. I definitely can see myself rewatching this movie. I'm trying to get it on Blu-ray as soon as possible. I'm gonna give this movie an A+, a 5 out of 5. This is a magnificent film, in my opinion. The third best movie by Tarantino ever. It's a great movie, great acting. Probably 2 nominations possible: Best Picture nomination possible, Best Director nomination. It's very possible in my opinion. So, have you seen The Hateful Eight? If you have, comment below and tell me, what's the best movie by Quentin Tarantino in the past few years? Again, I'm your host Marquise Underwood. But wait a minute, we have another review. And it's called The Revenant, which is directed by Alejandro, I can't even say his last name, but it's the guy that made Birdman. He's the one that did this movie, and it stars Leonardo DiCaprio that is, Tom Hardy, and Domhnall Gleeson. In this movie, it's about DiCaprio, his character, Hugh Glass. He's like a frontiersman or so, and well, he has relations to the Native American tribe, and he has a son that's Native American. And well, he's thought to have died, DiCaprio's character is thought to have died, and Tom Hardy's character kind of bury him alive, if that makes sense, and kills his son. And so DiCaprio's character, Hugh Glass, is out for revenge. And we see about a 2-hour and 30-minute cat and mouse game. We see Tom Hardy, thinking that nothing bad is going to happen to him because DiCaprio's dead, so he thinks. And we see DiCaprio trying to get to Tom Hardy so that he can kill him. And man, this movie, it was a good movie. It's not great, it was good though. The acting was pretty good. DiCaprio, he barely talks in the movie, kind of like a Ryan Gosling and a Nicholas Winding Refn type of movie. But when he does talk, he speaks in like Native American language most of the time, but it works. Honestly, this is not the best performance I've seen from DiCaprio. If he does, he'll probably get nominated in my opinion, but if he does win, it'll probably be like the Al Pacino case with Scent of a Woman, whereas he should have won, within the past 15 years, but he just kept getting screwed over and shit like that. So if he does win, I feel like it's for that. But DiCaprio, he did a good job in this one. I really felt like he was out for revenge, just trying to get justice for what happened to his son, and I really appreciated that. But in my opinion, the star of this movie is Tom Hardy. Yes, Tom Hardy, the guy from Mad Max Fury Road. He's in this movie too. He does a phenomenal job. He's the supporting actor. He should be nominated for Best Supporting Actor in this movie. I really feel like he did a phenomenal job. He does kind of have the Bane voice a little bit, but it didn't deteriorate his performance for me. I was really captured by his performance in all honesty. I just felt like he did an excellent job of performing. I felt Domhnall Gleeson did a pretty good job too, in my opinion. There was nothing really spectacular, but for the scenes he is in, which is probably a good 1/3 of the movie, I thought he did good in my opinion. And the cinematography in this movie, oh my god. This movie, it looked beautiful. It's shot with natural lighting, which is like a first ever to have no artificial lighting. Here, I'm using artificial lights here. But he went out there in the woods and he had to perform at specific times, because if he didn't, he would miss his shot. And if that means if you have to perform, at the dusk of dawn, it's only going to happen for a good maybe 20 or 30 minutes or so, maybe an hour at the most. So your actors have to be on point and they have to see your vision through, and they did a phenomenal job of doing that. The atmosphere was pretty good too. I like the setting, the wild and forest. I felt like they did that really well. I really felt like it was claustrophobic. I really felt like the woods were like long as hell and people were traveling through them for years or so, even though this probably took place over a few months or so. But I feel like they did that really well. And my god, the bear scene. That bear scene was really intense. Nobody gets raped. I don't know how the hell that theory got out there, that rumor. Nobody gets raped, but it's a really, really intense scene, I would say. Not for the faint of heart, in my opinion. The downfall really is that kind of with The Hateful Eight, it's a bit too long, in my opinion, but you kind of needed it, so it doesn't really deteriorate or detract me from the movie. I'll probably get it on Blu-ray. It's not DiCaprio's best performance, but if he wins, let's say Best Actor, it's more so because he should have won a good 15-20 years ago. Tom Hardy, though, on the other hand, did a phenomenal job of acting. I'm giving this movie an A-, a 4 out of 5. I thought it was a good movie. I can definitely see it again. Definitely is Oscar bait, but it's a good movie. Go see it. I definitely think you guys should go see it. So, have you seen The Revenant? If you have, comment below with your thoughts. Let me know. Will Tom Hardy win Best Supporting Actor? Or will DiCaprio win Best Supporting Actor? Who are your nominations? Again, I'm your host Marquise Underwood, and join the quest.